Right. Hello, Inazia.
Hello, Levan. How are you?
I'm very good. Thank you. For our listeners, this is our live stream for the translation competition that has been going for 8 years. And I have with me Inazia Posedino from the University of Essex, who is a senior lecturer there. Inazia, how are you?
I'm very well, thank you. I'm really pleased to be here today and meeting again, even if it is just virtually, online, my dear student Antonia, because she was a student of mine for a couple of years. She did
Yeah,
an
yeah.
MA with us part-time, and that's why, we got to know each other quite well. And
Yes.
I'm really pleased to see her again. I haven't seen her since she completed her MA last year,
Right.
and then she immediately found a job. So
How nice.
yeah,
Well,
so I'm
she's
really
having slight
pleased.
technical issues, and then she'll
Yes,
join us as soon as she's so smart. You know, Inacia, we've been doing the translation competition for the last 8 years.
yes, it
Can't
seems
I
like
can't
yesterday. I
believe
can't.
the I can't believe the how when did it happen?
Yes,
How did it go? When we
amazing.
first started, it was like let's try this, see what happens,
Yes, and I
and
thought,
here we are.
okay, experimental, told my colleagues it's just for 1 year to see how it goes. We need to do something
Yeah,
to try to link, our world to the business world, and we cannot miss this opportunity. Let's give it a try.
yeah, yeah,
But
yeah.
then,
Which I'm glad we both
yes,
took the risk and went for it, and here we are after 8 years. It has there is Antonia. 1 second, let me admit her as well. And it has gone from strength to strength, and there's hello
hi,
Antonia.
Antonia.
We have Inacia on the line as well. We can't hear you, Antonia.
Is it the mic that? No.
Is probably she may be muted. I see she's connecting. Yeah. Can you can you hear us, Antonia? We can't hear you.
It's connected. The audio is
It's
connected
connecting to
now.
audio. Yeah, I can see a message here
Okay.
saying that it's connecting with audio.
Uh,
And it's very interesting because what I wasn't sure in Asia when we started it, I wasn't sure if our customers will be willing to come to the university, take part in this, because at the end of the day, customers are busy running their own businesses, and but I was pleasantly surprised that they were actually as passionate as we were, and it made such a big difference because in the
Absolutely.
first year we had such a lovely start. It was Jane Mallion. She
Yes.
brought English cream tea,
Oh,
and
it was wonderful. After the translation challenge, after the many, squabbles that we had between students, then to be rewarded with gifts from Jane. We had a massive picnic
yes, yes,
with
and for the
cream
listeners,
teas, and
yeah, Jane
it was
Mallion is the founder of the English cream tea company. They do fresh cream teas and they send it all over the world. And she, it was like such a pleasant awards day with lots of boxes of cream tea.
yeah, it was
Well,
really great.
Antonia, can you hear us now?
Yes, it is
Excellent.
working now. It was a rough start. I'm sorry about it, but now it's
Well, it
set
is
out.
Zoom. Life is never easy with Zoom. I can tell you. So welcome to the show, and it's
Thank
great
you
to see
very
you.
much.
Great to
It
see you
is
here.
nice to see you.
And Antonia, can you tell us a little bit about yourself, and so that for the listeners, it is really the who you are, what you do, and how did you find? It's just an informal conversation, really.
Absolutely. So I'm Antonia. I'm Italian, and I've studied at University of Essex. I was doing the MA in translation, interpreting, and subtitling. Ignatia was my supervisor. And I started in 2018, and I actually got my marks the last December, even
Wow.
though I left the unit, unfortunately, at the beginning of the pandemic.
I see.
And since I was a part-time student, my master's degree lasted 2 years. So I got the chance to participate in the translation challenge for 2 years.
Wow.
And
Wow.
I do really enjoyed it, the translation challenge, for many reasons. First of all, because it got me the chance to really bond professionally with my classmates and course mates, because
Of course, yeah. There's this element, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, because we were divided in groups, in small groups of 4-5 people, and everyone had their role. And actually, during my first year, I had the chance to be the project manager.
Oh, right.
So I got the chance to, handle deadlines and meetings, just to proofread and go over things all together. And
so how did it work out? Being a project manager, was it kind of what you expected, or bring us back to those memories?
It gave me that little responsibility over a real project, that it was just the missing piece of the puzzle, because during the lectures you gain the skills, you talk about how a translation project might work with a client, but you don't really have the real experience. So with the translation challenge, you meet up, you listen to the needs of the client, and then you set up a plan. So I had for example, I had the translation divided in equal parts, and given these parts to my teams. Then we had deadlines to hand in these parts, and then we had little meetings to proofread everything all together, and to see if we agreed on everything. And
the second year, did you work as a project manager as well, or did you?
On the second year, I was just translator and proofreader of the whole project. Also because, there were new people participating for the first time in the translation challenge. So I wanted to give them the chance to experience what I experienced the previous year. And it was nice. It was cool. Yeah, it was
and
nice.
Did you, second year, when you were working as a translator, did you appreciate the project manager's role? Because you were a project manager a year before?
I did really appreciate the project manager role. But at the same time, I really wanted the full experience as a translator. Because, to translate, I have a passion for translation. And that was the main reason why I applied for the MA at the University of Essex. So I just wanted, that responsibility about translating properly, meeting the needs of the clients.
Yeah, because I can see from your profile that you actually studied English, Russian, and German in Italy.
Yeah, I did in Italy. It was, during my bachelor degree, was more about grammar. I can't really speak those languages, but I know a little bit about grammar, a little bit about literature as well, because my studies were about literature in Italy as well. And I got the chance to live in Germany as well. So yeah, it was always about languages since I started my academic path.
No, it's very interesting. And what do you do now?
At the moment, I'm an employee of Apple.
Wow.
I just moved in November in Ireland. And I'm an annotation analyst. So basically, what do? We work with the artificial intelligence, with those users that opt in the projects, to improve the understanding and language of the artificial intelligence. I'm not really working with the translation at the moment, but it is language-wise relevant to my studies.
Would you say
and you also have two other ex-colleagues, so the students who graduated a year before you.
There are Jack, Oriana that
Yes.
study with us, and Frauke as well.
Oh,
So
yes.
we're all
You
working
see,
together.
Wow,
another 3
amazing.
students of mine working for
Yeah,
Apple.
I
Amazing.
remember Jack and Frauke actually took part in translation
Yes.
challenge as well.
Yes.
And
Yes.
actually they did
And
an
Oriana.
internship in our
Yeah, they
company.
work
Yes.
with you.
We were really disappointed. You know, whoever did an internship from Essex University, like we are always disappointed to let him go, you know.
Yes.
Yeah, how amazing. So how do you say that the languages played a part in getting a job, you know, working for Apple, Google, Facebook is like everybody's dream. So what part did languages play in you
Well,
getting that job?
at the moment, the most important language that I'm using for working, it's my native language, because you're supposed to have a very fluent ability of speaking a language to do what I do at the moment. But it is important at the same time to be fluent and confident with your second language.
Yeah,
Otherwise,
yeah,
you wouldn't be able to communicate with your manager and with the
yeah,
project itself, because everything is in English. And regarding the project on which I'm working at the moment, it is really important to know each and every part of how your language works. And I think that translation gives you the ability to have a better understanding of your
yeah,
language. Because when you translate, you need to strip naked the text and
yeah,
to analyze the language word by word,
yeah,
and then
yeah, yeah,
sentence by sentence, and then the text all together.
yeah, yeah. And Inacia, can I ask you, you know, how does it make you feel talking to your ex-student and then now they are working for Apple, company like Apple? How does
Very
it make you feel?
proud, very proud. And they know that because we have a special report. I think it's
Yeah.
something special, you know, special about Essex in general. We create a very personal report with our students, although we keep the professional stance, yet, you know, we organize so many extracurricular activities that we see them quite a lot. And I've seen, you know, Antonia growing, you know, in a kind of exponential curve. You know, she really became a skilled translator and subtitler and interpreter. So you know, I'm really happy. I mean, this
Thank you,
is,
Nadia.
she knows, this is, you know, it's great to see her happy in full employment in a moment where this is not, you know, guaranteed.
Yeah.
But she's using all the sub skills that she's learned, I'm sure, and she will acquire more. And you know, who knows? One day, perhaps she will go back to translation or interpreting
Yeah,
or something
absolutely.
else.
I mean, also because a company like Apple gives you the opportunity to grow and
Yeah,
to
yeah,
improve your
yeah, yeah.
skills, and you never stay in the same position as you started. You always have room to grow.
That's excellent. And even though, like Ignacia says, even though you may not be translating, but those skills, they are portable skills, aren't they? And
Absolutely.
you don't forget it.
Absolutely. No,
You know,
absolutely.
you kind of,
Also because I'm also working with machine learning, which is something that we worked and discussed about and had
that's like a dream job. That
seminars.
sounds like a dream job. You know, machine learning, artificial intelligence.
Yeah.
Wow. And you know, interesting thing is because people say, you know, if I know that, you know, what I do will help me to get a job, I'll do it definitely. But obviously it's not always the case. So when you were taking part in translation challenge and activities like this, what was going in your mind? Did
Um,
you expect to have a job like this in the future, or I mean,
to be
how?
honest, I really wanted to try how it would have been to be a translator, because it is true that we worked on weekly deadlines and little tiny project because we were having lectures about translation. But I really wanted to, experience how it was to set up a plan and how would I have coped with working on the same subject maybe for a longer time, which I must say it worked out pretty well, because it got me used to the pandemic situation as well, because as a translator I had to work at home or at my office station, and at the moment I'm working from home as well, and it got me used to it, like my academic part and the translation challenge itself.
Excellent. And what would you say to your, to a student who's thinking, shall I join this? Is it worth the hassle? And I've got lessons, I've got this to do, I've got Netflix to catch up with. So what would be your message to them?
I would definitely recommend to join the translation challenge. It might be a little tricky to, put all together with classes and lectures and other deadlines, but it really gives you it is a window to the real world and to a real job. You get the full experience. You bond with your course mates, and it's also fun, because I remember one thing about the translation challenger was this term that we couldn't find the proper translation, and I was watching a TV series with subtitles, and the subtitles at the translation, and I remember stopping everything, reaching out my teammates, and I was like, I found it. I think it might work this way. So it is fun as well, and it is really, really satisfying. Also, because after the translation challenge with Ignazia, we got a chance to go over the translation as well, what could have been better, what it was perfect, what was professional, and it really helped me to close those circle of improving my translation skills.
Yeah. Nice, very interesting. And Inacia, this is like a lot of extra work for lecturers at the university, and I suppose seeing the results that is it motivating you to continue with it, and what are your feelings?
Definitely, because I see how much they of course they take it very seriously. It's a job, or unpaid, but it's a real job, and they have a chance to see whether they can work in a team, they can negotiate to each other.
Yeah.
We always say it's not the best translation, but it's the best teamwork that wins, and in fact that's what they learn, and it's the most cohesive team that normally wins. They're the one that they get on very well, and the communication keeps going, and so for us it's really too precious, too good to let it go. Although, as you said, it's extra work, because in some language combinations, I end up checking 4 or 5 extra translations. These are 1,000 words translations, so it's not short when you have portfolios of translations to mark, and Antonia knows. Oh my God, they're a killer. And I also do technologies of translation, so it's always marking, and you don't want the extra
as if you haven't got enough marking to do.
but it works. It's worth keeping. It's
I think we got it 8 years ago. We got it right that you have the academia, you have an university such as Essex University, but the commercial side is different, and it is very hard for universities to fulfill that commercial side. And the moment we noticed that, and then we said, okay, let's do something about this. And I'm really pleased that it is working. And it's such a pleasing thing to see, Antonio or others who took part in the challenge, and now they've got jobs. And so it is so pleasing. And it's also from the client's point of view, it motivates them to do, because some clients, they don't have exposure to the translators. They normally give a job to a translation company. They never know what happens behind the scenes. Do they use Google Translate? What do they do? What do they do? They have no idea. It's like, sitting in a restaurant, not knowing what happens in the kitchen. So for the clients that took part, they loved it as well. You know, they knew what was going on, the teams and everything. So then it makes them realize that actually there's so much things goes on.
Yes, so much work.
Just to get from, you know, 1,000 words to be translated from English into this language, there's so many activities. So yeah, I'm really, really pleased that, you know, it's proving useful. Is there anything else you want to add, Antonia, before we wrap up?
I mean, it makes me a little bit melancholic about my university days, because, you know, you have this walk from the university student to the adult life. But I'm really happy I took part to the translation challenge, both of my 2 years of the master degree, because it helped me put new skills to my CV as well. I was able to have some real experience to you know, to enrich my curriculum.
Yeah, excellent. Really pleased to hear that. Nastia, is there anything you want to add?
No, I think we said most of it. I think, you know, I said it many times. It's work, extra work for students, extra work for you, Levan, because, you know, we are very thankful, because you have to find a client, you have to find something that is suitable. Every year we translate something different. So we've done, you know, from art galleries to scones to, you know, pedagogical material, all sorts of things, you know. So it's great. You know, the material that your client offer us to translate is always fresh, is always exciting, and it's perhaps something that we would not cover in a way in at uni. So it's, I'm really.
And we have a surprise client for next year's competition. I won't tell you who they are just yet, but it is it's very different, and I'm already excited about it. But we'll release it later. And yeah, excellent. But Antonia, Inacia, thank you very much for your time, and I hope the listeners found it interesting as well. And thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
Have a lovely evening. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.